Hi everyone, this is the Nordic Venture Show, your guide to the exciting world of Nordic startups and venture capital. In today's episode, we're exploring a startup called Supermetrics.
Welcome back, everybody, to another deep dive. We're going to be tackling a topic that might sound kind of dry at first, Supermetrics.
Oh,
But trust me, it's way more interesting than it sounds. This tool is all about making your marketing data actually work for you and not against you.
okay. I'm intrigued.
We'll be exploring what it does, why people are raving about it, and whether it could be the tool you've been missing all along, kind of like your new secret weapon.
Secret weapon, huh? Well, you've definitely got my attention. Where do we even begin with something like Supermetrics? What is it at its core?
Well, what's really interesting is that it solves a problem that's super common in marketing these days.
Data silos.
You got it. Data silos.
Yeah, I mean, just think about it. Your ad campaigns are running on Facebook. Your website analytics are in Google Analytics. You've got social media engagement on Instagram, TikTok.
Yeah. And who even knows what else?
Exactly. It's all over the place.
It's like trying to solve a puzzle where all the pieces are scattered across different rooms.
A recipe for a major headache.
Exactly.
So is that where Supermetrics comes in? Is it like the force that brings all of that data together?
It is. It's like a bridge.
Okay.
Taking data from all these different sources and then putting it all in one place where you can actually use it.
Oh, that sounds promising.
Right. Like imagine being able to see all your campaign performance across all your different channels, like in one unified view.
That would be a game changer for sure. But I'm guessing it's not just for those big Fortune 500 companies, right?
No,
With their massive data teams and all.
you are so right.
It's got to be for us little guys, too.
It is.
Small businesses, agencies.
Yeah, they actually have solutions for all sizes, like agencies, small businesses, even individuals working within larger companies. And they're used across a ton of different industries, too. Everything from like e-commerce to B2B SaaS.
Oh, wow. So basically, anyone who's struggling to keep track of their marketing data.
Exactly. Because
Okay.
I think everyone is struggling to manage their data these days, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So it just proves that the need for better data management, well, it's pretty much everywhere.
It's universal.
Yeah. So, okay, now I'm picturing Supermetrics gathering all this data, right? But like, then what?
Good question. Does it just magically turn into some sort of report?
Yeah, where does it all go?
It goes to all the places that you are already using. So it integrates with all the tools you're probably already using. So something like Google Sheets, for example.
Okay.
Or, maybe you are working with data visualization platforms
Okay.
like Looker Studio. Or even something a little more robust, like BigQuery, if you are really trying to dig into those numbers.
Yes.
Supermetrics is that connector. It feeds that data into the platforms that you're actually using to analyze and visualize it.
Okay, so it's like the delivery service that brings all the ingredients to your data kitchen, and then you can whip up some amazing insights.
Okay, yeah. I like that analogy.
All right.
And speaking of amazing, the benefits that Supermetrics claims are pretty impressive.
Okay, let's hear them. Lay it on me.
Well, they talk about massive time savings. I'm talking cutting your reporting time by like 80%. Think about all the things that you could be doing with those extra hours.
Oh, yeah, for sure. That would definitely free up some bandwidth.
Right.
I could be thinking more strategically. I'm assuming better decision-making is part of that, too?
Of course.
Yeah.
Because when you have accurate and up-to-date data from all of your marketing efforts all in one place, well, you're not just guessing anymore.
Right, right.
You can actually see what's working, what's not working, and then you can actually adjust your campaigns accordingly.
Yeah, it's like you're finally seeing the full picture.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And imagine being able to pinpoint which channels are driving the most valuable leads, or which ad campaigns are actually leading to sales. Like, that's the kind of precision that Supermetrics can provide.
So it's not just about like feeling more organized. It's about optimizing your entire marketing strategy and ultimately getting a much better return on your investment.
Exactly. But you don't just have to take our word for it. I mean, Supermetrics has a ton of customer testimonials, and some of them are pretty incredible.
Okay, let's hear some. What are people actually saying out there in the real world about using Supermetrics?
Okay, so one customer actually said, and I quote, "Once people discover Supermetrics, you realize it's the greatest thing ever, and you think, how did we live without it?"
Wow. That sounds almost like a religious experience.
Right. It seems to have a pretty dramatic impact on the way people do their jobs.
Yeah, it's like life-changing. What other gems did you find?
Okay, here's another one. Another customer said, using Supermetrics has not just saved us time, but also money. It's actually saving us tens of thousands of pounds per year.
Tens of thousands of pounds? That's serious money.
It's not just like pocket change, right? It's a very serious return on investment. And this last one actually really resonated with me. This customer said, every morning I open the master dashboard that we built with Supermetrics. The main benefit is that it always has fresh and accurate data in a single view.
That sounds peaceful.
Right. It seems to really alleviate a lot of the stress and uncertainty that often comes with, managing your marketing data.
So it sounds like it's not just a technical solution.
No.
It's actually changing how people feel about their jobs, which is pretty huge.
What I think is really striking is they all emphasize not just like the technical capabilities, but the emotional impact too.
Right.
Like the relief, the empowerment, those aha moments when you suddenly see the bigger picture, the things click into place.
It sounds like Supermetrics is making data way less daunting and way more accessible.
Exactly.
Which is huge. But are these just like anecdotal stories, or do they have the data to back up those big claims?
They've actually got some really impressive numbers.
Okay, I'm listening. Hit me.
Okay, so they work with over 200,000 companies in 120 countries.
Okay, so they're not just some niche tool. They've got a pretty broad reach.
Definitely not a small operation.
Oh.
Okay. They claim to handle 15% of global online ad spend.
Wow.
That's a massive chunk of the market.
It is.
Trusting them with their data.
So clearly they're doing something right.
Right. And if that's not enough, they also boast a 99.9% platform uptime. So basically, you can rely on it to be there when you need it.
That's essential when you're talking about critical business data.
It really is.
So it seems like they have the scale, the trust, and the reliability to really back up their claims. But I'm curious, why should our listeners actually care about this?
Yeah. What's the real takeaway here?
What's the real-world impact for them?
That's a great question. And that's exactly what we'll be diving into next. We're going to explore some specific scenarios, and we'll see how Supermetrics can help you unlock opportunities that you might not have even considered.
Sounds good.
Yeah. We were just talking about how Supermetrics brings all your marketing data together, but how about we make that a little more concrete?
Okay. Yeah.
Let's imagine you're running a campaign
Right.
for, let's say, a new line of sustainable sneakers.
Okay. I like it.
And you've got ads running on Facebook and Google and even some influencer marketing on Instagram.
Okay. Yeah. I can already see where this is going. Like, keeping track of all of that data from all those places could become a real nightmare.
It's a recipe for disaster.
Different platforms, different metrics. It's a recipe for a spreadsheet migraine, for sure.
Yeah, exactly. Without a tool like Supermetrics, you are constantly logging into different dashboards, downloading reports, and trying to manually combine data that's formatted in completely different ways.
Yeah, no thanks.
It's a huge time suck, and honestly, it's prone to human error.
Yeah, for sure. So in this scenario with Supermetrics, am I picturing like one central command center
Basically.
where I can see everything that's happening across my entire campaign?
Exactly. You can have a single dashboard in Google Sheets, for example,
Okay.
showing you how each platform is contributing to your goals.
I'm listening.
Are those Facebook ads driving traffic to your website? Are those Instagram posts actually leading to sales? You can see it all laid out clear as day.
Okay, so that's where the real magic happens, right? When you can actually start to see the connections and the patterns across all those different data points.
Precisely. You might discover that your Facebook ads are great at generating buzz and brand awareness,
Okay.
but it's actually your Google ads that are driving those crucial conversions.
Interesting.
Or maybe you see that a particular influencer campaign is generating way more website traffic than you thought it would.
That's what I'm talking about, those aha moments when you suddenly see what's really moving the needle.
Yeah.
But okay, let's say I've got all this newfound knowledge now. What actions can I actually take based on these Supermetrics insights?
I mean, that's where the rubber meets the road, right?
Yeah.
You can use this data to make informed decisions that optimize your entire marketing strategy.
Yeah.
So for example, let's say you notice that your Instagram campaigns are getting tons of clicks,
Okay.
but those clicks aren't converting into sales.
Ooh, that's interesting. Why might that be?
Well, Supermetrics can help you dig into that. Maybe your landing page isn't optimized for mobile users who are more likely to be browsing Instagram on their phones.
Right.
Or maybe the messaging in your ads doesn't quite align with what people see when they land on your website.
Okay.
Supermetrics can help you spot those disconnects.
So it can help me pinpoint exactly where the customer journey is breaking down,
Yes,
and then I can make adjustments to smooth things out.
exactly. You can tweak your landing page design.
Yeah.
You can test different calls to action. You could even revisit your ad copy to make sure that it's perfectly aligned with the user experience on your website. And here's the best part, because you have all of your data in one place.
Okay.
You can track the impact of those changes in real time.
It's like having a constant feedback loop,
Exactly.
allowing me to fine-tune my strategy as I go. No more guessing games, just data-backed decisions. I'm really liking this, but it makes me wonder, is Supermetrics only useful for marketing teams? Could someone in sales or finance benefit from this kind of data integration?
That's a great question. And the answer is yes.
Okay.
The applications go way beyond marketing.
Yeah.
So let's say you're in sales.
Right.
You could use Supermetrics to see which marketing channels are generating the most qualified leads.
Gotcha.
You could identify your most profitable customer segments. You could even forecast future sales based on your historical data.
Okay, so sales teams are getting a much clearer picture of their pipeline and where those high-value customers are coming from.
Exactly.
What about finance, though? I'm having a little trouble imagining how they would fit into this whole data party.
Well, don't leave finance out. Imagine being able to connect your marketing spend data with your overall financial reports. You could see exactly how specific campaigns are impacting your bottom line,
Oh, okay.
which initiatives are generating the highest ROI, where you might need to adjust budgets and so on.
It's about connecting those dots between marketing efforts and those financial outcomes.
Exactly.
So it sounds like Supermetrics is less about those departmental silos and more about creating a data-driven culture across the entire organization. Everyone's speaking the same language, working from the same set of numbers.
That's the ideal, right? When everyone has access to accurate, real-time data, they are empowered to make smarter decisions that ultimately drive the business forward. But of course, no tool is perfect.
Right.
And it's important to acknowledge that Supermetrics does have some considerations.
Right. It's easy to get swept up in all the potential. But I'm curious about the potential downsides, too. Is Supermetrics really as easy to use as they claim? And are there any risks involved in relying so heavily on one single tool?
Those are great questions.
Mm-hmm.
And that's exactly what we'll unpack when we come back for the final part of our deep dive into the world of Supermetrics.
All right, so we've covered a lot of ground with Supermetrics,
We have.
from its data wrangling superpowers to its potential to really transform how companies make decisions.
Yeah, across entire organizations.
Exactly. But before we wrap up, I think we need to address that elephant in the room.
Okay.
The potential downsides that we hinted at earlier.
Right. It's true that no tool is perfect,
Yeah,
and Supermetrics is no exception.
true. One thing that I was thinking about is the learning curve.
Oh, yeah.
While they've made strides in making it more user-friendly,
For sure.
you still need some technical know-how to really use it to its full potential.
You do.
It makes me think about things like setting up integrations, building custom queries. It's not just drag and drop.
Definitely not.
You need to be willing to invest a bit of time and effort to learn the ropes.
That's true of any powerful tool, really.
Yeah, for sure. And what about the cost? We've talked about the potential return on investment,
Right.
but is it even accessible to smaller businesses or startups with smaller budgets?
That's a really important consideration.
Mm.
Supermetrics does have a range of pricing plans, but it's not free. The cost really depends on how many data sources you need,
Okay.
where you want to send that data, and the features you want. So it's
Right.
definitely worth crunching the numbers and seeing if it makes financial sense for your specific situation.
So it sounds like it's a classic cost-benefit analysis.
It is.
If Supermetrics can truly save you time, reduce errors, and ultimately boost your ROI, then the investment might actually pay for itself many times over.
Potentially, yeah.
But what about the fact that Supermetrics relies on APIs?
Right.
You mentioned that earlier, and that it could be a potential vulnerability.
Yeah, you're right that reliance on external APIs is definitely something to keep in mind. Essentially, Supermetrics depends on those platforms that it integrates with, Facebook, Google, and so on, to maintain those API connections.
Right.
If one of those platforms makes a change to their API,
Okay.
well, that could impact Supermetrics' ability to pull data from that source.
So there's a certain amount of trust involved?
There is.
You're trusting Supermetrics to keep up with any changes and ensure smooth data flow.
That's right.
Are there other risks? Data security is a really big concern for most companies these days.
It is, and it should be.
Mm-hmm.
When you're dealing with sensitive marketing data,
Right.
even internal financial numbers, you need to know that it's being handled responsibly.
Of course.
Supermetrics does have strong security measures in place, But it's always wise to do your own research. Read their privacy policy, understand where your data is stored, and make sure you're comfortable with their approach to security.
It's like anything else in the digital world.
It is.
You need to be informed, ask the right questions, and make sure you're managing those risks appropriately. But let's say, after weighing all of this, I'm convinced Supermetrics sounds like a total game changer,
Okay.
and I'm ready to get started. Where do I even begin?
Well, they've actually made it really easy to get started. They offer a free trial, so you can test out the platform,
Okay.
see if it's a good fit for your workflow. They've also got tons of resources on their website, documentation tutorials. They even have a dedicated support team
Nice.
to help you out along the way.
That's good to know. There's nothing worse than feeling lost and confused when you're trying to use a new tool.
I agree, especially
Yeah.
one that's this powerful.
Yeah, exactly. They seem to really get that. They've clearly invested in making the whole onboarding experience as smooth as possible. Once you're up and running, it's really about connecting your data sources, selecting where you want that data to go.
Yeah,
And then the fun begins building those reports and dashboards.
exactly.
So if you're feeling overwhelmed by spreadsheets, tired of manually pulling data from a million different platforms, if you're feeling like you're always behind,
Yeah.
well, Supermetrics just might be what you need to regain control and start making data-driven decisions with confidence.
It's definitely a tool worth exploring.
It is. But
Okay.
as we wrap up this deep dive, I think it's important to remember that tools are only as powerful as the people using them.
Yeah.
Supermetrics can give you those insights, but it's ultimately up to you to ask the right questions and then put those insights into action.
You got it.
So as we leave you to ponder all the amazing things Supermetrics can do, here's a final thought.
Right.
If you could see all your marketing data perfectly organized and visualized, what opportunities would that unlock for you?
What new insights would you uncover? What decisions would you make differently?
Yeah.
What goals would suddenly seem within reach?
Those are the questions we're leaving you with. Because in this age of data, knowledge is power, and Supermetrics might just be the key to unlocking your full potential. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
Thanks for having me.
Until next time, happy analyzing and
Thanks for listening to the Nordic Venture Show. Don't forget to subscribe and stay tuned for more stories of innovation from the Nordics.